A resurgent nightmare, the return of the pandemic. In 2025, China faces a chilling resurgence of COVID-19, with new variants triggering a wave of sudden deaths that has sent shockwaves across the nation. From Hohhot in Inner Mongolia to bustling metropolises like Shanghai and Guangzhou, private clinics are overwhelmed with patients exhibiting prolonged coughing, vomiting, diarrhea, and an eerie, soulless demeanor. Lu Kun, a clinic owner in Hohhot, shared on social media, "Patients arrive with vacant eyes, as if their souls have left their bodies. Many remain ill despite months of treatment." He predicts the outbreak will peak in June and July, with severe cases allegedly concealed by authorities. Unofficial estimates suggest China's population may have fallen below 1 billion, starkly contradicting the government's claim of 1.4 billion. The relentless sound of firecrackers in rural areas, a local custom signaling death, serves as a grim reminder of the unfolding tragedy. Social media reports amplify public anxiety. From ride-hailing drivers to university professors, sudden deaths are striking younger demographics, with victims in their 20s and 30s. One netizen lamented, "You don't need to be old to die anymore. Anyone, at any time, can collapse." A notable case in Shanghai's Pudong district saw a construction truck sealed with a no-exit notice on May 21, 2025, fueling suspicions of covert lockdown. Days later, a primary school student in Guangzhou tested positive for COVID, forcing home quarantine and reigniting fears of draconian restrictions. The CCP's cover-up. Trust in tatters. The Chinese Communist Party's CCP lack of transparency has eroded public trust. Mr. Xu, a resident of Benzi, Liaoning, expressed frustration. "They tell us it's just a cold, but my friends suffer from lingering illnesses. It's a COVID variant, but the CCP hides it to prevent panic." Social media posts about frontline doctors dying from new variants or young people collapsing on the streets are swiftly censored, deepening suspicions of an information blackout. Citizens have dubbed this phenomenon China truths, facts distorted by the regime. One user wrote, "We no longer know the truth. The epidemic, the deaths, all hidden. Only the sound of firecrackers echoes daily." Faith in the healthcare system has also crumbled. Despite claims of 96% public health insurance coverage, rural areas, home to 40% of the population, face severe shortages in public hospitals. Patients must pay upfront at private facilities, and insurance claims are often denied. A patient in Yunnan shared, "I saved my whole life for medical emergencies, but hospitals demand cash upfront. Insurance is an empty promise." The weak pension system exacerbates fears. With an average monthly pension of just $25.00 for two-thirds of the population, leaving citizens hesitant to spend, fearing for their future or health crises. Economic paralysis. The health crisis coincides with an economic collapse, creating a vicious cycle. The 2025 Dragon Boat Festival, traditionally a vibrant celebration with zongzi, sticky rice dumplings, and gift-giving, has become a symbol of decline. At Fulongmiao Market in Guangxi, stalls overflow with lychees, watermelons, and zongzi, but buyers are scarce. A vendor lamented, "I sold 2 watermelons all morning. Prices are dirt cheap, but no one cares." Department stores, once bustling during holidays, stand empty. Uncle Big Village, a shop owner in Guangxi, posted a video online. "The Dragon Boat Festival feels like any other day, not a single customer, just staff wandering around. How can businesses survive like this?" Consumer confidence has hit its lowest point since 2022, with youth unemployment in double digits and property prices plummeting to 2017 levels. People aren't spending, not out of choice but necessity. With an average disposable income of just $5,700 per year, and Shanghai housing prices 50 times the average income, Spending is a luxury. China's deeply ingrained saving culture, rooted in memories of famine and the Great Leap Forward, has led to household savings of $19 trillion, 0 cents, larger than the national GDP. But this money remains locked away, paralyzing the economy. Financial sector turmoil, corruption and inequality. China's financial sector, once a pillar of stability, is reeling from corruption and inequity. In May 2025, 4 former chairmen of major banks, ICBC, ABC, CCB, and BOC, in Jiangsu were sacked in an anti-corruption sweep. Shen Rongqin, former ICBC Jiangsu chairman, was arrested on May 27, sparking heated debate. A Beijing banker remarked, "They approved billions in loans but earned only millions in salary." With that much power, who would? Online citizens mocked. 4 chairmen once met to plan banking growth. Now they're meeting to play mahjong in jail. Inequality was laid bare by a scandal involving the industrial bank's 2025 elite internship program, reserved for children of clients depositing over 10 million yuan, promising jobs at firms like JP Morgan, Google, or ByteDance. The news sparked outrage. Ordinary people have no chance. Money rules everything. One netizen wrote bitterly, "My child excels academically but isn't rich. Their future is locked shut. With deposit interest rates slashed below 1%, savers are further squeezed." Heng Yuan, a depositor in Fujian, complained. 3 years on 1 million yuan now yields just 39,000 yuan in interest, down from 105,000. Why bother saving? The property bubble and public debt. A ticking time bomb. The property bubble, once an economic driver, has become a millstone. China has built enough homes to house 3 billion people, far exceeding its 1.4 billion population. Evergrande's 2021 collapse triggered a domino effect, with developers like Country Garden defaulting and property prices crashing. The CCP spends $280 billion, 0 cents annually, to buy up surplus real estate, pushing public debt to 88% of GDP in 2024, projected to hit 100% by 2026. Total non-financial debt stands at 312% of GDP, with local government debt reaching $10 trillion, 0 cents, much of it funneled into inefficient projects like abandoned highways and empty train stations. The billion-yuan highway, one side complete and the other in ruins, symbolizes Chinese fragile economy. State-owned banks like ICBC, with $6 trillion, $300 billion, 0 cents in assets, continue to issue loans under CCP directives, but these cannot stem the tide. A banker noted, "We lend to keep GDP figures afloat, but the money goes to dead projects. The economy is a house of cards waiting to collapse." Debt deflation spiral, a dire warning. China risks a debt deflation spiral. Low consumer spending leads to falling prices, reducing corporate revenues. Companies default on loans, banks incur losses, and citizens lose savings, further curbing spending. This cycle, seen in Japan and Greece, looms over China. The CCP has cut interest rates, printed money, and run budget deficits of 8–9% of GDP annually. But these are stopgap measures. A blogger remarked, "The government urges spending, but without higher incomes, who dares open their wallet?" Low consumption stems not only from saving habits, but also from inequality. Only 60% of GDP reaches households, compared to 77% in the U.S. State-owned enterprises and banks hoard most income, leaving workers behind. Median disposable income is just $4,800, 0 cents annually, too low to boost domestic demand. Dragon Boat Festival 2025, a symbol of decay. The 2025 Dragon Boat Festival epitomizes the crisis. Streets from ancient alleys to modern malls are deserted. A Yunnan vendor said bitterly, "I sell handmade zongzi but not a single sale all day. Prices are halved, yet still no buyers." Companies that once distributed boxes of zongzi now give 1 per employee, or none. An office worker shared, "In past years I got piles of festival gifts. This year, not a single dumpling." The holiday has lost its flavor. Young people, especially those born in the 90s and 2000s, shun traditions. preferring to lie flat at home rather than join dragon boat races or visit family. The fruit market is equally bleak. A vendor complained, lychees, watermelons, peaches. Prices are rock bottom, but no one buys. I made a few hundred yuan all day. The festive spirit has vanished, replaced by despondency. A real estate agent recalled, "Before we had so many zongzi we threw some out. This year no one gives any, even a dumpling is too much to ask." Political instability. The CCP on the brink. The CCP's tight control is backfiring. Xi Jinping's policies, from a 5% GDP target to investments in electric vehicles and semiconductors, are criticized as misguided. State-owned enterprises dominate but are inefficient, while workers see no wage growth. Proposed solutions include reducing state control, privatizing banks, and embracing free markets. However, the CCP fears losing political power, so it continues to pump debt into state firms, pushing the economy toward collapse. Public discontent is rising, a netizen wrote. They tell us to spend, but where's the money? They hide the epidemic, but we see deaths daily. They claim economic growth, but the streets are empty. Anti-corruption campaigns, though high-profile, only expose systemic rot. A Beijing banker said, "Leaders are arrested, but the system stays the same. We at the bottom are still forced to meet pointless targets." China in 2025 is a grim tableau of a nation in crisis. A resurgent COVID epidemic marked by sudden deaths and suppressed information has shattered trust in healthcare. The economy is paralyzed by low consumption, a property bubble, and massive public debt. The financial sector reels from corruption and inequality, while the 2025 Dragon Boat Festival reflects cultural and economic decay. From vendors to youth, hope is fading, and the CCP struggles to maintain power with temporary fixes. Without bold reforms, raising incomes, improving welfare, and ensuring transparency, China risks a deflationary spiral and collapse, threatening not only its economy but also the CCP's political stability.